Small Island.
And he also can do bomb. He can do all 3 checks on Bomb Island, so that might be where he heads to afterwards.
Okay. That looks spiky.
I can't tell.
I think we'll call it spiky, and if we're wrong, it's going to happen early enough that the chat won't remember.
And Jim sailed a little bit towards Cliff Flat and then realized it's barren, so up to Bomb Island.
Muscle memory is a hard thing to fight in these seeds.
Especially when almost every seed starts the same way. You always peek that check. You always start turning that. You start going that way, and then you're like, oh wait.
Yeah. I think the only other starting route I could think of would be like DRI, Wind Shrine, Peak, Popper, and Crescent, Windfall.
Yeah.
So kind of doing that northeastern quadrants.
Kitcot getting a bottle, which is actually good to see. He'll get to save Grandma on his first trip back to Outset, so that's pretty good for him. And Jim with a spiky on this lookout platform.
Especially since we know that Northern Ferry is a place we want to go. It's routing in that ferry for Grandma is not going to be too hard.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Jim getting Coral talked and getting his Iron Boots. I couldn't see which dungeons are required. I saw, I think, Tachi entrance, and that was about it.
Wind Temple is not marked as required because our trackers have done a good job. Thank you, trackers. They sometimes don't do a good job. So that's when I'm on tracking, though.
Yes, I don't know if those Iron Boots are going to be very useful, but I mean, you have them, I guess, in case you're bored.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping a good note on when we've warped which dungeon entrances we're looking at.
Spiky for Jim, and it is the Leaf. That is a really nice item to get early. It's not usable yet. We don't have magic, but as soon as Jim gets magic, he can fly about everywhere.
Kitcot putting in his daily squats. We want to make sure Link is never skipping leg day. Since we roll so much, it can be a little tricky to get in our legs. Ho-ho hint. 4 on Windfall. That's mediocre.
So for Kitcot, Mila has got $50, so.
She was actually robbing this time.
She was robbing.
That's a change of pace. Typically, she's either not robbing anything worthwhile, or she has things that she shouldn't.
Today, she just paid us off to keep silent, so. House of Wealth, this, looks like the bottom chest was dead. And
Boko
Baba Seed.
Hardcore parkour to the basement, and that's a smooth Bomb Island. So, great thing to see.
Yes, I think Jim, I have a feeling he may just go to Windfall here, unless he proves me wrong, but.
Was Private Oasis hinted dead?
I don't think so.
I could see a peek on Private. No, he's just warping. Okay, that's reasonable.
All right, let's look at these dungeons.
No Forbidden Woods, no DRI.
Yeah,
so Iron Boots are useful in that it's nicer to get into Wind Temple entrance with them, but not necessarily required.
Right, so I think Jim is going straight for the Northern Ferry, actually. I think he's wants to greet out that something useful will be there, which makes sense. He can do both checks here. It doesn't really get any faster than the way he's doing it, so.
Yeah. And we know it's path, so like there's no reason to push it off necessarily unless you're gambling that like Leaf and Magic are on Windfall, which is not common. That's how I'll phrase that.
There's a sword on Tingle for Kit. Will be nice. We do have Forsaken Fortress this seed.
We do.
And there is Triforce Shard.
That was 4.
Yes.
That was 4.
That was 4. So that was a hinted one. So yeah, I think Blue Chews and Zunari were hinted dead this seed, so we're not going to see any fun Blue Chew action. But
what a shame.
I don't think we've seen many Blue Chews this entire tournament. I haven't seen a seed yet that had to do them, but
they were required for one of mine, and you know what? I'm happy. I love Blue Chews. I think we should start with 0 Blue Chew as opposed to 10, but I'm biased. Shield, okay.
That's not what you want to see for a path to go, Dan.
No, no, you don't, because that kind of is just telling you, hey, your dungeon order might be ET before Tachi, and that's like, that hurts a lot.
Yeah, especially because a lot of the Tachi items, like, it's pretty much bombs, leaf, and bow. And if any of those are late in the seed, it just kind of feels bad. Those are such useful items to have early on.
Well, we have leaf.
That's true. Could be magic, though.
That would be,
Could be magic on Godan again.
as long as it's not magic on Goma. But I think both magics have to be in the pool. Goma's out, so. Bait bag on Mail. I can't remember if, I think Mail was path to Calais? Yes, I got a thumbs up from our tracker, so that's another really sucky. No, we have power bracelets, so Kit's really being set up well for his first visit to Outset, because I think he can full clear it at this point.
Except for the spoils bag check, yes.
Yes, Orca. Forgot.
Oh, Orca.
Oh, that is a smooth chest and Northern Fairy sub, so shield is our path.
So that is a very limited option, or there's a very limited amount of things that can be off that now. So it's either going to be Angular Isles is going to have something, or Earth Temple is going to have something. That is both terrible.
I think I would prefer Angular over Earth Temple having something.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to be Earth Temple, because that's like 1 check versus 17.
Alright, so Jim heading off to Windfall. He's just going to basically repeat the stuff that Kit's already done. We'll see where I feel like Kit might just go to Outside. I feel like he's been set, like, he's gotten a lot of Outside items, but
I think it is the correct move is Outside here for him. Maybe check Headstone Entrance, but that feels a little greedy just because we don't have a lot of items to really push through our dungeons yet.
Yeah, if he got E.T., Tachi, or Forbidden Woods, he could basically do nothing in any of them, so it wouldn't really make sense. I mean, the info is sometimes nice, but getting back to ET entrance also just kind of takes a minute, so it's not something you really want to have to do 2 or 3 times a seed.
Yeah.
So Jim, while Mila's going around, is just going to kind of just do some menial chores on Windfall, because he has nothing else to really do in like the 2 minutes or something that she has to walk.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So he's just going to be doing, like, Todd here is basically just another random check. Usually you can do this during hide and seek, but might as well just start it now. You can turn on the windmill. You can store the House of Wealth door and get in there from closer to Mila. So
yeah, if you have Picto, you can also opt for Upper Lenzo, but we still actually prefer to do Lenzo door cancel if you have Picto because you skip a cutscene with that approach, and you still kind of get slightly, like, House of Wealth is a little more out of the way.
yeah. And you get to do door cancel, and door cancel's fun.
It should be obligated in every single seed. So many cool things. Kit saving out of his Northern Fairy. I think there is a good argument for Kit to go to the northeastern quadrants first before Outset. Because the only thing you're missing is Scaled Wall and the spoils check.
Well, looks like
he's doing just the inverse of Jim at this point.
Yeah.
Which is also another valid approach.
Have we seen Beetle yet? Actually, I don't think we have. And,
oh,
that's bombs.
That's,
whoa.
All right. That's really good.
To be fair, it doesn't it doesn't open up as much as like you'd expect now that we started power bracelets, but we get the mail. We can do a little more Tachi when we get there. So, luckily for Jim, I think that's a pretty easy check for him to get. I mean, Beetle spawns everywhere, but still nice to have.
It's an item that provides a lot of flexibility with what you can do, and so it's considered one of the more powerful items that you can get. I think Leaf is the other top contender, but I think Leaf is a little less powerful when we don't start with magic.
Yeah, bombs also have like a lot of like weird non-expected uses. Like you can use them for bomb drop storage on chests, which is one of the most common ways to get through dungeons quickly. You can use it for like certain dungeons just have certain tricks, like in like Wind Temple, you can use them to like for some bomb boosts. And sometimes they're just fast to kill Stalfos, and so they're just good to have. Like you never feel bad about having bombs.
Yeah.
see.
Did Kit go through and do play tag with the kids?
No, Kit left before us during Lenzo door cancel. I think he is
Okay.
greeting out for a Picto Box.
Which is a valid play.
Seems to be a common play this tournament, actually. I think both runners yesterday did the exact same thing.
Which means that our first Picto is going to be on kids.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's always how it works.
Yeah, because if you do Lenzo door cancel, the whole trade-off with it is there's a check that's Pomping Vera, which is you take a picture of Lenzo and I don't remember the other lady's name. You take a picture of them and you give it to these two girls, but in order to do that, you need a Picto Box. And so if you do Lenzo door cancel, you go into Lenzo's house without a Picto Box. You can get the chests, but you can't finish that check. And that check takes forever if you do it normally. So a lot of the time, runners are just going to try and greet out a Picto Box before doing that check. And then because Lenzo door cancel is usually combined with hide and seek, people just do all of it at once. So I have a feeling we're going to see both runners. Actually, I don't know about Jim. We'll see what he does here. But it's common for both runners to just leave before starting hide and seek and just do it later. But there are numerous ways that can bite you in the butt if it goes wrong. Picto Box on kids happens a lot. Or Picto Box in Lenzo's house.
That's another funny one.
It is a fun one. To be fair, Picto Box in Lenzo's house is actually pretty good. You can just go take the picture then immediately. But it feels a little bit like bad just to see it there.
I think the worst one is Picto on Miss Marie, because you do your door cancel, you've lost it because you've gone through Lenzo, then you go talk to Miss Marie and she gives you a Picto Box and you're like, all right, do I go back?
All right, so now both runners have it's funny because they're basically converging now. They've done pretty much the exact same stuff. Jim is just going to get his mail. Kit is going to outset.
And I think Kit is like barely ahead in this like reconvergence because he went to Northern Ferry after. And so that lets him have a ferry for outset, as opposed to Jim, who will either have to warp or choose a different route. And it looks like Jim is picking a different route.
Yeah, it looks like he is heading straight towards Crescent. I think he's leaving Popprint for now. Though I have a feeling he might be doing Crescent and then going down to Popprint in case Grapple Hook ends up being here.
I think that's one option. I think he could also, like, if Crescent is completely empty, he can just soft reset and then straight east from Windfall, as opposed to doing the longer southern sail.
No Ghost Ship chart, so Ghost Ship, one of the best feelings in the entire world is when you have Ghost Ship chart and you can just get it at Crescent because you don't have to worry about the stupid boat for the rest of the seed, but not today. I think Diamond Step wasn't hinted, so hopefully if we get it soon, you can do it at
I
Step.
think Diamond Step was hinted
Oh,
dead?
wasn't it dead? Oh, never mind. That's unfortunate for everyone then. Enjoy Spectacle Rock. There's Spoils Bag.
I didn't see the ho-ho hint.
I think it was 8 on Windfall.
It was 8 on Windfall. You are correct. Good job, Jazz. I'm relying heavily on our trackers. Jazz is just good at reading.
My young eyes.
Nothing useful inside the sub, so Jim's going to leave. I'm going to guess Warp to Outset or DRI.
DRI.
All right.
So for his sake, I hope he goes into Beetle's shop and gets his bombs before having... Actually, you know what? He's going to need to buy a pair anyway. So yeah, he's going to go get his bombs now. Because yeah, he only has the bait bag, which, I mean, you can hit down the...
It's so painful.
It's so painful to do, though, yeah. It costs 10 rupees. You have to watch the bird slowly fly up the wall and then smack itself into a bomb.
Grabs a pair. He also should grab bait for Big Pig, and he remembers to do that. Okay.
Well done, Jim.
Beetle is done. Goodbye. Boomerang. I think that was Grandma Mail?
It looks like Grandma Mail, yeah. So Boomerang is the funny item of this game. It makes Forbidden Woods a lot easier, but it isn't required for anything at all. So while it's gonna be nice for Kit, like it's definitely nice to get. It doesn't actually really help Kit all that much, logically at least. The nice thing is maybe you get it out of the way of a path hint, because Boomerang is logically required for Forbidden Woods, and sometimes it can block your paths, or you can think that this dungeon or this place has a useful item, and then it's just, nope, it's just Boomerang. But
it also helps with 1, 2 platform checks, Southern Ferry.
yes, true.
But that's it.
Actually could see Southern Ferry is, ooh, ew.
Cabana. And this is actually, thinking about it, Jim doing Crescent before DRI is really useful to get that spoils bag, because this means he can actually full clear DRI on just a single pass and never have to come back.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, and so he can get Hoskett now, and this check is, I think, notorious for kind of just being super far out of the way. DRI is such an early game location. Spoils bag is usually not something you get early on in Seeds, so this is just your one check you have to do here that you never do.
I think that was 6 at DRI.
All right, Hoskett told Jim that he has one extra, like he doesn't need one extra feather. He only needs 19, not 20, so he just gives one back.
Buy 20, get one free. Mesa's house, Spiky, Cheese. Which one is that?
7.
Nice.
Yes.
Each of those shards are uniquely numbered, and so actually memorizing which number they are is really useful, but it hasn't really ever been a thing in the community until, like, Season 8 this year. Like, you could learn it for spoiler log, but just, we never did. Now we have to.
Yeah. The ho-ho hints, they just tell you, like, each ho-ho hint there's a duplicate for.
Go ship.
Go ship chart.
It's still night. Jim could actually make it.
That might be tight. I feel like his night cycle might be pretty late, but
you can super swim. That skips the night cycle because you can swim straight into it. It's a terrible, terrible feeling though, because if you miss it, then it's just pain.
Jim with the nice snipe, and that is
Spiky. Loaded DRI. I don't think we've seen our shard on DRI yet. That we just got hinted, so that could be our shard.
Probably in that chest, yeah. Right, Kit is off to DRI. Kit is opting not to do anything else here. I mean, it actually makes sense, though. He doesn't have a way to get both horseshoe checks, so he's out.
I mean, you could get Cave and then hope that Golf is dead.
You don't do that.
He has Boomerang.
But you can't
boom.
You can't get the middle chest, though. And if that's spiky and you have to go back for it, it's just like the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, so you see it and you hope it's dead. And then it's spiky and then your heart just sinks. But we are going to see Paw Print, Salvage Core. There's a lookout platform here that I think Jim will get after Paw Print. Oh no, I think before is better because he doesn't have grapple yet.
It's usually I usually feel before is also better just because you don't need to like re-angle coral after leaving Paw Print. You could just warp away. So because getting out of Paw Print is one of those areas where like the sailing is kind of awkward depending on where you go. So yeah.
And Jim did see that he got his Triforce shard. That's what he paused and swapped menus around for. For those that are unfamiliar, when you do chest storage, which is just a glitch that we will do a lot in this game, you store an item and you don't really see what it is until the chest unloads, which is a few different things. And once that happens, we typically want to see what item we have. Otherwise, you kind of start to lose track of everything.
Jim is doing this trick to get behind this, or get on this boulder, and he sees that the entirety of inside of Paw Print was dead. That's unfortunate.
I mean, Scale the Wall being dead is quite a good feeling without grapple.
True, yeah. That's Scale the Wall is the very, very rare grapple required check, because Grappling Hook is really only useful in dungeons, except for right here.
Yeah, we don't have a single dungeon that uses it.
Nope. Well, Forbidden Woods technically, kind of.
We have enough that we're fine without it. I think if we didn't have bombs, it would be a little bit more useful.
Yeah.
Paw Print, unhinted Baron.
That's very unlikely. I mean, with how Baron hints are set up, usually the bigger regions that are Baron are more likely to get hinted, so it's just kind of honestly unlucky for both the runners that it didn't. But
here's my call. we have Mirror Shield on top of Angular.
That would be brutal. That would be.
And then you're supposed to rush ET, which is a vanilla entrance, obviously.
Well, at this point, I don't even know what checks are in Logic for either runner. I think it's...
Phantom Ganon is in Logic, but hinted dead.
Yes. Kids is technically... Kids and Lenzo. I mean, Lenzo's not in Logic, but Kids are.
Needle Rock, Fire Chest. Not the shoot the lanterns, but the main chest is in Logic. Islet? Was Islet hinted Baron?
It was, yeah.
It was hinted Baron, so that's out.
I can actually see... Actually, I'm going to make a hard read here. I have a feeling Jim might do this Grandma check, because he just got his fairy. He's going to do Grandma. I have a feeling he's going to do that, and he's going to Super Swim to Needle Rock. Because that is a fairly common way, especially when everything is dead around it. That's one of the more common ways you can just get to Needle Rock. It's a hard swim from outset.
It's a really hard swim.
It's pretty tough, but I also think Jim can handle it. He's run this game for a while. If anyone I trust with Super Swims, it's probably the guy who's run every category this game has to offer. So
if I can make the Super Swim to Needle, Jim can make the Super Swim to Needle.
Yeah, Super Swimming, it's one of those niche tricks that in Randomizer, like I think if you watch a vanilla speedrun, you're going to see it a lot. In Randomizer, it's just not that useful. We have Swift Sail, and Swift Sail just makes sailing between places usually faster. But there are rare situations, like if you need to go 2 quadrants over, Super Swimming's usually faster. And then there's specific situations where like, oh, Needle Rock, if you want to get there, you have to warp and then sail like a diagonal quadrant down really far away. So it's just better in this situation.
Yeah.
Jim doing... Has he done outset?
No.
Oh, he just hasn't done outset yet. Oh.
Yeah.
So Kitcot getting his spoils bag, but I have a feeling... I feel Kit might just go back to Windfall here. I don't think he has... Actually, just the sub. I don't think he's got much else in Overworld.
I think he's in a very similar spot with Jim. He doesn't have Orca. He just got spoils, so he might go back and do all the spoils checks.
Yeah.
That is a little bit of a edge for Jim, just because like the checks that Kit has to go back for spoils are Hosket, they are Orca, and those are like out of the way because he's already cleared everything else there.
Yeah, and I mean, Hosket, luckily for Kit, it was nothing, but if that was something like, that's one of those checks that I have a feeling, never mind, he's going to go do it right now. I feel like he just doesn't want to get burned by it in case it turns out to be something.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, this is one of those checks that races can be decided in just this one check. Because if this is like, for example, if this was like the hook shot, that's a really, really good useful item. That could just be the race for Jim if he got it early and Kit never went back. So,
and we've seen a lot of seeds this tournament actually, where pushing off that check, trying to avoid something like this has cost the race.
Yes. It's fairly common in Season 8 because Season 8, by comparison to previous seasons, has less required Go Mode items because nowadays, with the hint system we have for Season 8, a lot of your major Go Mode items, your swords, your Triforces, your bows, they're all hinted, meaning that clearing checks has kind of almost never been weaker in a sense, where like in the end game, a lot of the time you're just going from hint to hint. So checks like this one that are just kind of left out in the open, especially early on, they can matter. If they're something like your hook shot that never gets hinted, then that is a big problem because nothing else will really push you in this direction ever again. So yeah, so Kit also getting, I don't know if, I assume we saw Hosket's girlfriend from Jim.
I think so.
Yeah, this is a check you get for the getting the gold feathers. Oh, that was the ghost ship jar. Okay. I don't know what cycle Kit is on.
I think Kit is on bomb.
Nice call. So, so Ghost Ship, there's basically every night there's 8 cycles to it. Every night it switches between a certain location. So it starts at Crescent Moon, goes to Diamond Step, Bomb Island, Spectacle Rock, and then it's irrelevant from there. Usually you've got it in 4. I don't remember what's next.
Once you pass Spectacle, it's just you're way too late and
at
it's going to cost so much time.
At that point, it's your last location, and at that point, you've probably lost the race at that point.
Yeah.
But Spectacle Rock is nice that it's 1 quadrant away from Windfall, so it's one of the easiest ones to route in, and then after that, like after It's 5-star after Spectacle, right?
It's one of the outer rings. That's I think like either one. It's either a diagonal or 2 quadrants.
Yeah. No matter where it is after Spectacle Rock, it's basically hopeless. You have to. You probably lose like 2 minutes of sailing just going there. So, ideally you get it in Crescent, Diamond Step, or Bomb Island because those are the only regions that have checks attached to them. And there's also Great Fish. The last cycle is Great Fish, but if you somehow made it to Great Fish, something went terribly wrong, and I don't even know how you do that.
Yeah. Time is fairly nice towards us in Wind Waker. It's not going to transition while we're in dungeons, on major islands, and so it's really like these small moments where you're on a side island or you're in a minor cave that time will advance normally, and so you have a lot of control over what cycle you're on, unless you're trying to like advance it for Mail, advance it for Mila, stuff like that, which will push you forward in a way that you probably don't want.
Jim is making Crane proud because he did this check without
and he got rewarded.
And he did get rewarded for it. So I guess this is what you get for listening to Crane sometimes.
Always gamble. 5, which we do know.
I think we got that already, yeah. Was it in DRI?
Yes,
we've seen every
the top of chest.
Yeah, we've seen every check in DRI so far. So we.
Jim not thinking to use the boomerang. Rookie mistake.
This Mothula has a lot of health for no reason, and it is annoying to kill for kind of no reason. Especially without a projectile, or a good projectile. Not to hit on Boomerang, but
I was about to say, like, we have Boomerang, but no, Boomerang just gets it to the floor, and you can quick spin faster. Hook shot.
That's terrible for Kit. He's not going to get that.
I feel fantastic.
Oh, my God. I hate it here. The seed just really wants to make Crane happy, and I can't let that happen.
It's wonderful. Diamond Step being hinted dead does mean that we're just going to abandon now. I think it's really just Southern into Angular. I think Angular might be the play because we do have that Earth Temple path hint, or Godon path hint, I should say. And because runners are pretty likely to push off Angular till they have Mirror Shield, Jim at least has told me before one of my races, which I lost, that don't be afraid to just go to Angular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, I mean, now that he has Hookshot too, it's kind of a no-brainer, because Angular is, I feel like it's the longest sail in the game when it comes to, like, when you warp somewhere, it's a really long sail there, and it's just one of those checks that, like, it's Sphere 0, but you just never really want to do it unless you have to, and especially in this scene, I mean, you have a Mirror Shield potential path, so it could feel bad, but I think in Jim's scenario, it's probably worth it to just go check it.
Tingle statue, throwback to earlier seasons.
Yeah, there's a check you can get for getting all 5 Tingle statues that was in the rando every season before this one, and then we finally killed it, and I could never be happier.
And I could never be sadder.
Tingle statues were that thing that you got at the end of the seed that you gambled because you got a Tingle statue in Earth Temple, and that was the only thing keeping it from being barren. And then it gave you like a heart piece, and then you lose.
And trying to figure out if you stored a Tingle statue is absolutely terrible if you don't have delivery bags.
Yes.
Because they both show up as spiky, but you can't check.
And sometimes you just forget your count because it's one of those things that like, oh, did I have 2 or did I have 3? I don't know. And then you check your delivery bag later, like, oops, I had Moblin's letter the entire time.
I was at 1. We are seeing tag for, I think, the first time. I don't think Jim did it, so we're going to get our Lenzo door cancel, though. We jump onto this wall, we climb a tree because Link's collision makes sense, and then we just kind of walk through the door.
Yeah.
Very normal behavior from children.
Doors cannot stop us.
I think that was spiky. Grappling. Doesn't actually unlock too much. I think its main use is going to be top G.
And Needle Rock, actually. Needle Rock is the gunboat.
Oh, that's right. And gunboat, I don't think it's hinted required, but it's still like a really useful thing to get out of the way.
Moblin's letter, that is kind of one of your like copium spikies. It's not good, but it's not bad, I guess. Jim can't use it yet. He needs delivery bag for it, but
it's better than Maggie's letter. Another tingle
another
statue.
tingle statue.
We are.
Oof.
This is a throwback season. Is that spiky or smooth? I can't tell. I think it's smooth. Would you say that was smooth?
I'd say that's smooth.
A tracker says it was smooth. Other tracker says it was spiky.
3-to-1 vote. I also thought it was smooth. So overruled. It's not spiky.
Which is really good information-wise because that means we know that Earth Temple is going to be before Tachi. I don't trust.
I don't trust Twitch. I do not trust Twitch chat. Okay, I trust it a little more.
We'll see if Kit eventually goes there.
Yeah,
we'll see. Kit turning in this though.
Try for short 8.
Okay, we are only missing 6.
Only missing 6. Jim is going to make a concoction with his snot. Well, he's not going to make it. This guy.
I think we can call that goat on snot because of the magic. Or maybe boss snot because we also had Goma with it. So boss snot.
We're going to have synchronized chemistry here. And that's, you blow up the snot and what has been made?
It's a bow.
No, it's $50.
Man, not bad.
Yeah, this is one of those. Even though it's a kind of a slow check, this is probably my favorite check in the new season because I love this cutscene beyond all belief.
Oh, it is so good.
So yeah, Jim is just gonna do hide and seek, I think, or he's going to House of Wealth chest first. Well, not sure if he's gonna do hide and seek yet, but I'm feeling he might.
Gonna turn in some skull necklaces. Chat up. No. Oh. Jim throwing me off for a moment.
Yeah.
I think Kit's stop is probably going to be Needle Rock here.
Let's see. No, we got baited. Angular, I think.
Angular or, because we know it's smooth
top
with a
of
path hint. Path, yeah.
Top of tree, yep.
Yep, top of tree.
This actually makes a lot of sense from Kit. All right, what's your prediction?
Magic.
I was kind of going to say magic, too.
We're running out of things that really open up anything.
Yeah.
It could be delivery bag. I think that's like the only other thing that comes to mind.
It could be bow. Bow would open up a couple checks in. Because Taji, we don't know which dungeon is where yet, but we have access to Headstone Island, which if that's Taji, then it could be a bow here.
You know what a really rude item would be? Picto.
Picto.
Because that tells you that Mananko is required.
Could be Skull Hammer too, and that can be for Sacred Fortress access. I kind of forgot that dungeon exists, but...
Well, that's because it's not a dungeon. It's just glorified overworld with a big bird.
It's a dungeon. Don't make it feel bad, you know? It wants to hang with the cool kids.
It wants to hang with the cool kids, but you know what? Not outside. Windfall is a better dungeon. Check-wise.
What's the boss on Windfall?
Mila.
Yeah. Well, she takes 2 minutes and is boring, so she basically fits the criteria of a Wind Waker boss.
Yes. Okay, is Kit going to bulb skip? Kit is not going to bulb skip.
Good for Kit. And that is a hard piece. That's...
So did we miss Peak Small Island then?
Almost certainly, yeah.
Okay.
Because there was no dungeon here, so...
Yeah. There's no other option.
So yeah, I mean, if Kit wants to zombie hover up there, I guess he could, but...
he has no way to revive, and we're not on Japanese, and Japanese is the only one where you can open the chest full dead.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, unless Kit has a Game Boy Advance up his pants, but I doubt it. And that would also be illegal. You're not allowed to
say, we haven't... Are we still doing a runner's agreement for tuners, legal or illegal?
I don't know. I mean...
That used to be it. Is both runners agreed, then it was legal.
I think next year we should just say, if you bring a Tingle tuner and you find it, use it. I don't care anymore.
Oh, it's not even optional. You must turn it off.
You must use it.
Hero's Charm, Hero's Tuner. Grappling Hook for Jim. It will be interesting to see if he follows the same path, sort of hint that Kit did, or if he did better than us at peeking Small Island chest, and so he just assumes that it's the spiky one and moves along.
Yeah. I feel like Kit probably saw a spiky chest here.
He pulled out a pair, so that's
yeah.
a good argument for it being spiky.
So this could be something. I mean, the one fun thing, I feel like this seed has already probably done mental damage to both runners because this is one of those checks that if your progression's here, it doesn't actually matter all that much because both runners are going to do this late. It's really uncommon to see Needle Rock super early, especially in like a seed without Diamond Step. But it feels bad. It just never feels good. And if you're running this, like, you don't know where your other opponent is. So when you're playing, you can kind of make inferences based on like, oh, there's magic. Okay, yeah. You can make inferences based on how the seed's going. Okay, do I think I'm ahead? Do I think I'm behind? This is one of those things that makes you feel like you're miles behind. And that just, it can sometimes mess up your mental state a little bit. So,
yeah. I think getting the magic is a little nice for the mental. Like, it could go either way, because either you're like, my opponent gambled this, they have magic earlier than I do, or there's no way my opponent went here this early without magic. I'm now in the lead.
yeah. So Jim is getting his ghost ship. He's at Spectacle right now, so.
Golden Gunboat by Kit.
Fortunately for Jim, he lacks magic, so he's not going to be able to do any cool tricks in Ghost Ship. He's going to just have to do it the normal way. He does have Boomerang to stun the Wizrobe, but
Yeah, if it gets the upper spawn.
yeah.
Typically here, you wanted Leaf. Oh, it's just dead, so he saves Warps out.
And that is a dead Needle Rock Gunboat, so Grappling Hook is just careening on the pit of uselessness.
I think I'll call that Golden Gunboat's check Japanese vanilla, because in the vanilla game, on Japanese, that gets you a treasure chart.
Is it Treasure Chart 41?
I'm not sure if it's that one, but it gives you a treasure chart because that starts your treasure chart chain for a Triforce shard.
I see, okay. Ew.
Yeah. There's a reason why it's like amazing how much Nintendo has trimmed down the Triforce quest each time the game gets released. But on to Orca 10. I think we did see this from Jim's side, so we did not see this from Jim's side. I've been corrected. Oh, that's right. It does require magic.
Yeah.
I always forget that.
Shout out to the thing in the background that I always thought was an ocarina until I realized I think it's a shark.
Jazz, that's a shark.
It looks a lot like an ocarina, not gonna lie.
Do you want my glasses?
I got contacts and I can see just fine.
Okay.
That is
Another chart.
a useless chart, and now you get to see an old man cry because he took his chart.
Mm-hmm. Didn't even save, so we can't see. If you save warp out, then, well, not save warp, but if you soft reset, it's nice.
Yeah, it's on that because of that long cutscene. A lot of the time, you can save beforehand and then just reset out, and because it's also kind of nice to have a save quit from here. You just spawn closer to Coral, so sometimes you'll just see the item, he'll start crying, and you just phase away.
Maybe it's you do like Grandma, Jaboon, save warp Orca, then you could soft reset if Orca's dead. Otherwise, you go up Big Pig, Mesa.
I think I've done that before, yeah.
That's a nice route. Okay, Kit is now going to get his hook shot.
And Jim is going to get his magic, so both runners are going to feel very good about themselves in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, or very bad at the same time.
I feel like it's honestly hard to tell. I think both runners probably should go to Forest Haven. I feel like that would be a smart play after this. So I think Jim might get bodied by that bird.
Nah. Jim has experience.
See, this is a...
Ooh, Kit doing the fast golf skip.
He's cheating at golf.
I don't think I can remember the last time I played golf correctly in this game.
I can't think of the last time I played golf.
Ever. We should mini golf after this, Jazz.
No, I hate golf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Jim now getting his magic power. He already got his golden gunboat, so it's just a question of where does Jim go?
Forest Haven? Yes.
Forest Haven.
So Jim will get the mystery item that we think is useful.
Kit remembering that he does have a projectile.
much cleaner kill. But yeah, it's still astonishing how many hits that Mothula takes to kill with like the Master Sword, but
it's a very healthy Mothula.
Yeah, I don't know why they decided this one specifically needs more health than like a Dark Nut, but
Jim going into Forest Haven backwards. This is a very nice feel-good strat because you don't need to do like itemize for your grapple hook. You can peek this instantly. It's nice.
yeah, it's also known as Bulb Skip Skip.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
I don't think it is. I think I just made that up, but
Yeah. Audience doesn't know. Kit now going to go do his small island chest.
we may see a synchronized flying to the small island chest.
One at day, one at night.
And this is genuinely one of the most even seeds I think I've ever seen 40 minutes in. Because
it has been 40. Yeah, wow.
it's been 40 minutes. They basically have the exact same item loadout. They've done the exact same checks, except Orca. Orca's and their Skullhammer. Orca is the one check I think that kid has over Jim, and that's it.
So Skullhammer, this was path to Cali? No, that was male. This was path Jahala. So that would be something right side ET most likely, or in FF. I'm going to assume they'll go to FF first.
Yeah.
Okay. This is
Probably not because Finn Regan was.
sword can't be path to
Yeah.
FF because we lowered the Phantom Ganon hitbox. It used to be that it could, but the randomizer made it so that the Phantom Ganon sort of like cutscene can't bring you down from the Cybele, which is a very nice quality of life change.
Yeah. This is the official dungeon known as Forsaken Fortress that it takes about like 2 minutes to full clear because it only has 6 checks. One of them is Helm Rock, one of them is Phantom Ganon, and 4 of them are just here. And they're pretty quick to get.
Ooh, Kit being a little too close to the wall, so he's going to have to reclimb.
As one of those feels bad moments, a lot of rolling you have to do.
Yeah, and because the runners are just so close right now, something like that is like basically the only way that Jim can gain advantage and
Yeah.
Kit can lose it. It's just these execution differences.
There's a sword. All right, Kitcot's the second time. So yeah, I think, I mean, it's still not too much. I think it loses like 30 or 40 seconds if you miss that jump. So it's not the biggest mistake, but again, in a race where minutes can decide pretty much anything. I mean, the last race I think came down to 4 minutes between the two. And this one is decidedly closer so far.
Yeah.
Usually, in randomizer races, it's not like a vanilla run. If you watch like a vanilla race for like just like a normal speed run, a lot of the time it's gonna just be whichever person has the cleaner run wins. But in randomizer, there's the execution factor and there's the routing factor. So sometimes one runner just has a better route, or they get a little luckier, and that determines it. So in a race like this, where the luck factor honestly hasn't mattered much so far, and as it looks like right now, it may not matter much at all. Execution mistakes all of a sudden hit a lot harder.
Ooh. Jim with the really clean save there.
Yeah, this is not a common strat. Forsaken Fortress, the most common way to do it quickly is you can store Phantom Ganon's chest and then use it to clip into the top of Forsaken Fortress to just get to the Hemlocking plate really quickly. But when Phantom Ganon's hinted dead...
Oh, no. We had the ladder. Ladder is the hardest thing. When that ladder specifically is just pain.
I think most ladders in Forsaken Fortress are the one you have to fly to, too, is just...
Oh, yeah.
Just ladders.
Sorry for interrupting you. I just wanted to call out that ladder because it was doing a good employee of the sea type job as an inanimate object.
Ladders are just notoriously awful. I mean, what's the worst ladder in the game?
That one.
Fair enough. Because yeah, I come from Skyward Sword, and Skyward Sword, the ladders usually aren't too bad, but they're also like the size of my pinky. So if you very slightly mess up your your angle, you're gonna run up the wall instead of climb the ladder. Yeah, so Kit he's just rolling up here. The start of the Helmrock fight is a rolling simulator. You just need to climb to the top. There's nothing you can really do to speed this up, except not mess it up. So Jim is, or I assume he's already done it, but there's a storage strat you can do. You can store the cutscene of Helmrock, and using that, you can move during it and jump into this pit. And by doing that, you can get Helmrock to fly into the pit with you, and then the goal of the fight is to hit Helmrock's head, which, because we're on this little platform, you're perfectly level with, and you can just smack him 4 times. So once you take off the mask, you just have to hit him with your sword a few times. So Jim's gonna do 5 quick spins and end Helmrock.
You could also use the hammer. I think it's like barely slower.
Yeah.
But if you're scared of messing up your quick spins, it's a little nicer because it's the same damage as a quick spin.
Yeah, quick spins are notoriously difficult in most Zelda games. I think Wind Waker actually has some of the easier ones, but you're gonna mess them up occasionally. And if you get a weird slash, like falling off this little platform is easier than it looks.
Pear.
I'm rocking a pear for breakfast, and
He was having a little snack. And then we killed him.
aw.
Okay, now where is Jim going to go to next? I think it's really just, we didn't get anything here. So it's like Earth Temple. Oh, so here's where you want to pull out the boomerang. Or you just gamble that he's going to pack.
That was lucky.
That was really good for Kit.
Yeah. If Helmrock flies away, when Helmrock's in this little state, like if he does anything except attack you, it can cause a lot of problems, because if he clips out of the little pit area, it's just a problem. Gale Isle has a Triforce Shard.
That is our last Triforce Shard that we needed to hit it, so we now know that Gale entrance will be Triforce at least go mode.
Yeah. So that's a good piece of knowledge for both. I mean, if Kid gets it too. An important thing with this randomizer, so the Ho-Hos hint the Triforces, and then in Hyrule, which you need all 8 Triforces to get to, there is sword hints, and that'll tell you where all your swords are. So knowing where your Triforces are basically means you know where your swords are too. You'll be able to get the same information. So now for both, like once you know that, then your worry is where are the bows and where are my Dungeon Go mode items. So that just generally means that Seed might be faster than we expect. In a sense, we may hit Go mode earlier because of that hint. So both vendors are gonna really like seeing that hint.
Tingle giving us a piece of his heart. How tender. Tower of the Gods warp from Kit. I thought Cabana was hinted dead, so I'm not sure where he's going.
Cabana was not hinted dead.
Okay, so I guess he's going to Scourge into Cabana, which is valid.
Jim is going to do Southern Lookout platforms. I think Kit, I think, peaked these earlier. I don't remember if he saw something good on them, but now Jim is going to get to do them. This is one of those checks that's actually new with Season 8. We added some lookouts in, so. Oh, boomerang troll.
And I really like this from Kit, from the commentator's perspective. 1, because content, but 2, like, we know that the execution has been the biggest factor so far, spiky from these platforms, and so this is a bit of a gamble from Kit, and that could be what puts him ahead.
Yeah, I think at this point now, a bow is probably one of the most influential items we can get. So, and yeah, Kit. To be fair, also to Kit, he did get Cabana Deed earlier, so that could tell him. One of the things you can do with Cabana is Cabana Deed can be in a brown chest. It could be barren. So if you never get Cabana Deed, it's generally not a good idea to break into Cabana, because there's a chance that it could just be a barren region, and the other runner will just never do it. But if you get Cabana Deed, it's a lot more likely that both runners will do it. So for Kit, this play also just makes logical sense.
Jim setting the wind direction in the exact same direction.
So yeah, it looks like there is one spiky here.
Jim setting the wind direction in the proper direction this time.
So yeah, Cabana, there's two ways to get in. You can either use the Cabana deed or you can break in like Kit did. We don't have delivery bags, so...
There's a third way.
What's the third way?
There's a bomb push strat now. Mirror shield for
mirror
Jim.
shields. Jim is... I guess now we'll see if the angular is spiky, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. So we were wrong. Okay, so angular, yeah, Jim is heading straight there.
And that is a very nice spot then for the mirror shield, because Southern Ferry is going to be one of your warp options for angular, and so it's just on the way.
Yeah. So now we see for Kit, I mean, this is kind of a rough situation because Jim now is progressing he's progressing earlier than Kit has now. So Kit, hopefully for him, something's in Cabana. That's definitely his best hope right now. Nothing in the first check, though.
I think Kit's hope here, like what would be ideal, is that delivery bag is on angular and it leads to this check in Cabana.
Yeah,
and so Kit's kind of skipping that part of the logic, but I mean, we're about to see if Cabana was even worth it. This is the risk you pay with a gamble.
It looks like
nope.
No. So yeah, Kit, unhindered Baron, Cabana, that is not good for Kit. So Jim is playing a little bit of Jenga. When you have Leaf, you can do some really funky stuff with this island. So he just pushed out the leaves in a the blocks in a certain way, and he can just fly around and get to the top. The normal strat for this involves pushing a block all the way around and just kind of slow.
I'm going to go with bow.
I'm going to go with Picto Box.
Oh.
Yeah!
Oh.
So
that's so mean. Now it's like, okay, do I go exclusively do Pompey and Vera, or do I assume this is a red herring and it's still path is an ET as opposed to it being angular?
that's genuinely probably the worst item that could have been there.
Yes.
Because, yeah, that can mean, it can mean Mineko something, it can mean Pompey and Vera something, it can mean, what did we get on Lenzo's? Grapple hook.
Grapple.
Which it probably isn't, but, I mean, it could technically mean grapple hook was the path.
So I'm going to call out something that Kid is doing here, which is we don't want to boomerang this platform because we already know there's a spiky. So we know we need to climb at least one platform. And so if you use bombs, you skip the whole, like, I would say do boomerang once, swap to bombs if it fails. And Jim messed this up, but you can actually leaf across during the reveal cutscene of the second chest. So just a little bit of, I'm gonna attribute it to nerves.
Yeah. I mean, I actually can vouch because I know Crane, I saw you do this strat on your race.
I've done it every single time I have done this strat.
And I remember you made the entire crowd panic because we thought you were going to overshoot the lookout platform.
Nah.
And we thought you were going to land in the water, but you
No,
made it.
You hit the pole, you angle it so you hit the pole, and then that lets you drop down.
It's very impressive.
I'm good at some things. Not a lot, but some.
So
Jim with Orca, though.
Jim with the Orca, and I think he's probably going to go to Headstone.
Yeah. Yep.
So we will see our first...
Real dungeon.
No, our second dungeon.
Our
We're gonna
first
see our
real
second
dungeon. This one has a small key. You know what doesn't have a small key? Forsaken Fortress.
You know what has a boss? Forsaken
Outset.
Fortress. What boss is on Outset besides Grandma?
Well, you just said besides the boss, so I guess there's no boss on Outset.
Exactly. So it's not a dungeon.
What a shame. We are going to see. I'm thinking this is vanilla ET.
Well, if it's Forbidden Woods, that's incredible for both runners, and if it was Chad G, that would be pretty good. So it's probably going to be ET.
Yeah.
Knowing this game. Yup.
Hey.
So I mean, that's actually fine.
No, it hurts.
Well, Jim does have everything to clear this.
No, he
dungeon,
doesn't.
except for fire arrows.
There you go.
Yeah, but he can clear most of it. I mean,
There's one dungeon secret he can't get to.
yeah, you don't want to clear it. This is not a play you want to do because Earth Temple is the slowest dungeon. It's either the slowest or the second to full clear, and it has the most potential for skippage because it's one of the least linear dungeons or it's the most yet the least linear dungeon. So
General consensus is that Earth Temple is the funnest dungeon casually when you know all the tricks and stuff in Randomizer, and it is the worst dungeon competitively because there are just so many options, so many execution mistakes that can happen at any point in time that you don't want to see it ever.
yeah, because ET it's structured a little weirdly. There's basically 3 branches of the dungeon you can do. You can do basement, you can do just like the normal basement. There's the super basement, there's like the progression to the boss area, and there's left side. Left side is just 4 really slow checks. The progression to the basement you need to do to beat the dungeon, but it's
Magic!
That could have been your first magic.
That's
Ooh. I do not like that.
better than Godon,
Yeah.
maybe?
So Jim, you don't want to do left side. Left side is generally, I think, probably even statistically the least useful area in the entire game usually.
Yes.
Almost nothing ends up being there.
Especially in a seed like this where you have what feels to be very late bows.
Yeah.
The later your fire ice arrows are in the seed, the lower the chance of anything being on left side, just because
Yeah.
of the way our randomization function works.
So at this point, if Jim does left side, I don't think that would be a good play. But I think going to the he'll probably go all the way to basement. He'll probably beat the boss. He'll probably see what items are in the basement area, and then just move on from there.
I think you do want to beat Jahala while you're here. There's not a good reason to avoid it because we've already done FF, so there's no warp back to ET from another dungeon. That would be the only reason I would say with this item loadout to skip Jahala.
And you also just don't. I mean, later on in the seed, if you get a hint that says, "Oh, Headstone has something," then you can go back and get it. But generally, doing that, it's preferable to just do that later rather than clear a bunch of useless checks. So
Yeah.
and there's a decent shot that nothing will be here anyway. You have 2 more dungeons to clear, so sticking around in ET super long.
I don't think we've seen Gossip Girls, and they give us a belt.
Oh boy.
That's our 2nd belt as a reward.
I am so sorry for willing in that Picto kit.
I think that is also all the belts that are in the randomized pool. There might be 1 or 2 more, but seeing 2 is already too many.
So Kit is heading off to Wind Temple entrance, so he will see either Forbidden Woods or Taji. For Kit, once again, the best option here would be Forbidden Woods, so it's probably going to be Taji. And if that's the case, Kit can do some of it, but he doesn't have a bow. He can... I don't know how many checks. You can do most of the checks. It's slow, and there's some that you have to do storage strats to get around, so...
Storage and a death strat if you're going to do behind the shoot the eye chest. But I think if it's Taji, you just leave because you know that you haven't completed your path hint for it, and that your path is probably a bow.
Jim is killing these floor masters, which this is one of the nice things you can do with Soup. The Soup does double damage, so you can 2-shot these guys. I mean, usually it's a 4-shot.
Key.
And it's Taji, because why would it not be?
Okay. I will not fault Kit if he does just the first 4 checks.
Yeah.
Because you have 3 here if you want to do a storage and peek, and then there's another 2 over to the other side. 3 if you want to do hop across boxes, but tell me someone who wants to do hop across boxes.
I'm sure someone wants. Someone who wants to gamble, I guess.
I do like me some gambling.
I know you like you some gambling. That's a spiky for Kit. If this is a bow, this kind of It's really good.
Really good if it's a bow. But then we're going to have a really internalized like pain of, okay, what is our path?
Kid having second thoughts about that chest, but oh, it's the cheese. Okay.
Okay.
Not bad. I mean,
Gives you a sword hint if you want to push for it. This being a brown chest is nice because you can store peak, and save warp is actually an option. Typically, when you're doing these chest storage routes, you don't want to assume that you can ever save warp, because save warping with chest storage is going to typically delete the item that you stored, which, if it's required, is very bad.
Okay, getting his full Triforce. Probably, so yeah, he's probably just going to do the other 2 checks in the front half and then move on. Jim entering Jalhala. He doesn't have light arrows, so he's going to have to do it the boring way, but...
he has a lot of practice with the boring way.
Yeah. Vanilla runner. This is one of those strats where, like, honestly, because of how common it is to have light arrows, like, I don't actually know the proper strat for doing Jalhala without light arrows, even though I played this game a couple times. It's just, it's so rare, but in vanilla you have to, so. There's a sword for Kit.
Okay, the Triforce finishing for the hint is not as useful.
No, it's pretty much useless now.
But I'm assuming we got Gan's made. That was insane.
Nice dodge by Kit, oh my god.
Getting a key here could mean that you want to hop across boxes. It looks like Kit's going to save, so he might still do it for a water cycle. But
yeah.
And we got Ganon's Maze hinted dead, correct? Ganon's Maze hinted dead? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool strat you can do that Jim's showing off, which is like use the crouch hammer position to shine light on Jalhala without aiming. There we go. Very nice Jalhala by Jim. He got pretty quick cycles on all 3. That fight is entirely determined by how quickly you can kill all the ghosts. So you can only do 5 per cycle, so you're basically just trying to kill 5 ghosts as fast as you can. Kit, yeah, he is doing hop across boxes, so he's going to swim out of bounds a little bit.
I'm still interested. I think Jim does want to actually save warp here and do more of ET.
Yeah, I think at least basement. I would not do eat left side in this situation, but basement's 4 checks and it's comparatively pretty fast. So,
yeah. Because I mean, we haven't resolved what that shield path hint is from, at least as far as I can tell.
And left side doesn't actually have a mirror shield locked requirement, but basement does. So, and now that we know, again, unless it's, I mean, it could be Picto Box in the bottom of ET, and then it's Menenko.
At least it's not Leaf.
That is nothing.
That's smooth. Still kind of a good thing to check just because of the way the seed's been going and getting a... There's always going to be one small key on the first floor. And so if you get it and you're in this situation where you're kind of looking to full clear, might as well get hop cross boxes. And he's going to push forward.
Yeah, okay, so, I mean, this makes sense from Kit. I think he's just going for the bow later in Taji. Unfortunately, this means he might have to, I mean, he might have already accepted that a double dip's likely, but he can do a couple of checks here, though.
I think double dip isn't too bad because he could also be pushing for the dungeon warp pod, because that does require getting past the first floor, and you have Forbidden Woods, so beat Forbidden Woods, save warp pot, back to Tachi.
Could not tell if that was spiky. I think it was.
Typically, we don't want to reveal the light if there's nothing spiky, so I'm going to guess it is, and then Jim is going to do boss key, spiky, or no. He's avoiding the potential soft lock
For
boss key.
Oh, yeah. So Jim does have the Staphos starter kit, so he's going to be able to kill all of these really quickly.
Okay, I'm completely wrong about Kit. He skipped the inner dungeon warp pot. I don't agree with that.
He might have forgot it, or he might just not care. Alright, Jim. Nice killing of those Stalfos. That is not anything up. So, running out of checks in ET. I mean, it's either the question mark if that was a spiky or BK. If he's storing this, it probably wasn't spiky.
I'm not sure why Jim is storing this.
It's to just not have to
skip
do
the
that.
fight.
Oh, you're right, you're right, you're right.
I was about to say, the roll clip's not an issue. Like, that's reasonably fast. But this skipping the fight is quite nice. And then I think Kit is either just trying to clear what checks he's at, or he's just trying to force, like, getting a bow, getting something.
Yeah.
That lets him push forward, because it is pretty out of logic right now is where we're at. Pretty bad seed is where we're at as well.
I know. So Jim gets nothing in that ET, which means the path in for that leads to Picto Box has to be leading not to ET. It has to be something to do with that. It has to be something to do with that Picto, because we know it's not Pompey and Bear. It's either Grappling Hook, which it's not, or Deluxe Picto is somewhere and has our soul.
Grappling Hook could be it if it's the second statue. It's like a mini boss check of Tachi.
We have Leaf and Magic though, in Logic. So I think it has to be there's just a Deluxe somewhere.
On the mini boss of Tachi is the Picto Box.
That would be terrible.
Once again, this seed is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it would fit. It would fit. Kid.
Thematically appropriate.
So I guess also from Gomo now, I mean, we don't have a bow, but we need 3 of those, which realistically we just need 2. Once you get 2, you can use a hint to get the 3rd one. So that's not you basically need 2 bows, and we just need a Pharaoh's Pearl to get into Forbidden Woods. Still missing a delivery bag. We haven't seen that yet. We have a couple. We have Moblin's Letter, but we have a Zunari Dead hint. So I mean, it wouldn't help too much. Alright, Kit doing Songstone.
I think the only...
Oh
okay.
my god.
There's Deluxe Picto. Now, do we instantly leave the... It looks like...
Yeah.
Kit just says no. Does he remember to get it? He does. Okay. I'm happier now. Kit, you've redeemed yourself for me.
So he's going to stay here. He's going to do a few more checks, but... yeah. I mean, this makes sense for him, though. Just get out and see what that Deluxe Picto has to say. So, I mean, Kit... This is an interesting situation because Jin is ahead in terms of he has a Jahala beaten. He's behind in terms of Top G progress, but, I mean, there's not a... Kit hasn't really progressed that far in Top G.
And only gotten, like, a Picto is the biggest. And a Shard.
And a Shard, yeah.
So, like, it's still fairly close, even though it doesn't look that way.
Yeah. I have a strong feeling that Jim is... if I were to... Knowing Jim, I know he knows the strat of chest storage here and then take that to Dark Nut. I feel like he's going to do that, and he's not going to do Hop Across. That... And he's going to get Picto, which means when he gets Picto, he's probably just going to leave Hop Across. That will save him a nice chunk of time on Kit, because Kit doing Hop Across was like a 1.5, 2 minute just time sink that Jim is going to get to avoid entirely now. So that is, for Jim, that is actually going to save him some time. I think it's hard to say. I still feel like Jim is in the lead of this race. I think it's still very prone to change, though.
Yeah.
I also think Jim is just having a little bit cleaner so far of a Top G. with this route. He's going to be able to get through like to the top floors a little quicker.
Okay, Vanilla Bow.
Ooh, that would be something.
I don't think we often see Vanilla Bow, honestly.
Oh?
Oh. I will it is.
Pharaoh's Pearl.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's...
Now I'm not sure where we're gonna see Kit go after this. He can see delivery bag, or I have a feeling he's gonna just be allured by the 17 checks in Forbidden Woods.
I am. I 100% am. I'm like, save warp, maybe check the mail just as a sanity.
Yeah.
Maybe check Menanko just as a sanity. Beeline straight to Forbidden
Beeline
Woods.
straight, yeah. No, it's that is a pretty. That settles minds a little bit. I mean, now we know a lot. That's definitely the most. Yeah, he's going straight.
Okay.
For Pharaoh's Pearl was definitely the most like open-ended item we had left, because nothing was really hinting towards it, especially not there. So now I think the seed is getting a little more regimented. We'll see. We just really need 2 bows, honestly. We can do every other check, I think.
Did a rat just push off the statue?
I think it did.
I didn't even know that could happen. I think Kit's route here is he wants to beat Forbidden Woods, full clear. Then you go check Master Sword Chamber. You break the barrier, open Dark Portal. Because then you just warp to FF2 once you are in full-on go mode.
Yeah, that actually is a good play, and it's one of those things that just feels really good for your soul.
Yeah.
Because one of the things about Wind Waker that's annoying is that Wind Waker has one of the most tedious and long end games. It's a 7-minute long end game that involves a difficult boss fight, and it can just feel really bad to do when you're stressed. So cutting that down by half is pretty nice.
And it gives us a reason to have Boomerang. Boomerang, it's basically the only purpose Boomerang has in most seeds.
Boomerang is just hot junk, unfortunately.
It is.
Jim killing his Dark Knot, so he's going to get Pharaoh's Pearl pretty quickly. Well, actually, we will see. Will Jim stay, or will he go before getting Deluxe?
That is a very hard question to answer, because, I mean, we know that he should get Deluxe, and I'm not saying should as in we know Deluxe has something, but in that, it's a very nice thing to have.
Yeah. Looks like he is staying, though, for now. But I mean, it is clear to see, though, I think Jim's route through Tachi is going to be pretty much... Jim, where are you going, Jim? Out.
Oh.
So I think now what will punish Jim is if a bow, if the first bow is there, and doesn't it have to be there? It might have to be.
I don't know, because, like, Forbidden Woods has a lot of grapple-locked things. So if grapple is our path, that could be bow in Forbidden Woods. Like, that is a completely valid resolution.
Think for now, Jim's win con is probably just bow in Forbidden Woods at this point.
One spiky.
One spiky.
We can't. No, we can't.
This is
we have
grapple locked, yeah.
So, looks like Kit is going to store it. It's slightly faster to store it, but it is. I'm personally torn on if storing it is the correct play, just because you need to know how these hints are resolving and what you're getting. Because if that's bow, you really kind of want to know that ASAP.
Jim's going to Cabana. What the? What? Why? Okay.
I would have expected him to route Cabana
After. Yeah.
That's typically like dungeon before Cabana when it's Forbidden Woods.
I don't want to say this is a misplay. I think this is a misplay. I don't really understand this.
I'm comfortable saying it's a misplay. He doesn't need the hobo hint because he has all the Triforce.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a delivery bag. He does know that Cabana is in Logic.
I feel like he maybe is just panicking a little bit. It's hard. You can't tell what's going on in someone's head during a race, but
Yeah.
This play seems more like a desperation play rather than something. I think maybe he's thinking he missed a bow earlier, and because of that, now he needs to go here. Maybe he's thinking basement because basement's grapple hook. That could be it.
That is fair, but you have basically everything that you could get from the delivery, like besides delivery bag, and so that's like I'm more of the opinion that he thought maybe top was an early bow, and then he's like, well, I'm already here.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is just a
Oh, Kit got a bow. Where was Kit's bow?
he stored it.
Past seats hanging by vines.
Past seats hanging by
See, I
vines.
mean, Jim really just has to go to Forbidden Woods, and he'll get his bow, he'll be able to do the rest of Top G, and he'll get his deluxe no matter what it is. So I feel like for Jim, this play is pretty, it's just a little weird, but, and it's not going to work out in his favor. He's basically just wasting 2 or 3 minutes here, but.
Yeah, it feels like this should be the safer play, but it's actually not.
This is more so the risky, like, I think he just thought he missed something, or maybe the only other way I can think of this is maybe he's doing, if he knows he's going to warp out in to Taji from Forbidden Woods, he didn't want to leave this check open, so.
Another spiky in the
Another
bottom.
spike for Kit. Oh,
Bottle.
okay, well, I was
Not
really
a useful spiky.
I was really about to go into why, oh my god, fire and ice here, but no.
I mean, that's really what Kit is after, is if he gets fire and ice,
he's in go.
Yeah, that is his go mode.
Wherever, the only way that Kit wouldn't be in go mode after fire and ice is if Maggie's letter or note to mom or something turns out to be the, if he gets like it's like on windfall or mail and there's no more windfall or mail checks, then that's the only situation where they're not. But I mean, if it's like, it's in Taji somewhere, then you're done. So.
Yeah. Then you're sad because you left Tachi early and you were gambling that there was a bow in Tachi.
Yeah.
Except for if it's a bow lock bow.
Jim is doing Hyrule.
I think he's going to divert at the last moment.
No.
It looked like he was trying to divert until the last moment. As long as he doesn't talk to Coral. Doesn't have to talk to Coral. All right.
Yeah, he's just gambling this check. I mean, this does kind of make sense. We'll see. This could be a bow.
I'm still not sure. Like, I am leaning more and more with Kit's approach of just go straight to Forbidden Woods because...
Yeah.
Oh.
Hold on.
Okay, maybe I have to eat my words.
Yeah, if this is it, this doesn't seal Kit's fate, but if he does Warp Pot, then that does seal his fate, almost certainly.
I think it also depends on if Jim go modes, like assuming this is arrows or bow, if he go modes the moment he gets his other bow, and it just is going for the green pit. That's also a factor here. Or it's another bottle.
Yeah.
Shout out to bottles.
What's the worst thing that it could be?
Delivery bag.
Delivery bag. Oh boy, it's delivery bag. That would be fun.
So it's delivery bag.
It's gonna be delivery
Okay.
bag.
Okay. I'm glad that we can reach that consensus very quickly of what's the worst item. Oh yeah, that one.
You know, it could be note to mom, and then Bino Mail has your light arrows.
That is really good for Jim,
It would be
technically.
really good for Jim. All right, let's see it.
Oh. Got to enjoy that nice slow.
Yeah, that is a...
Okay, does Kit redeem himself with a Makar slide?
Let's see. Yeah. I hope so. I don't think he does, because I don't think Kit knows this. No,
he
Kit's
saved
safe
warp.
quitting.
And this was the worst situation that we just discussed, where he save warps, he takes the interdungeon warp pot, and that bow that is right below him misses.
He's going to miss it. That's really bad for Kit.
I don't think you take this pot to do the interdungeon warp pot.
Yeah. Honestly, Yeah, he's going back.
Yeah.
This is... All of a sudden, the situations where Kit wins this race have just plummeted, I feel like.
Yeah. And
'Cause-
this is, it's really hard to describe, but this is where routing earlier is impacting your future decisions just because of what you have available.
Yeah.
And that is being a deciding factor.
Kit is playing the seed very aggressively, where he's trying to... you can tell that he's just rushing his dungeons. He's trying to push like the just do your objectives. Like don't do the stuff that's not necessary. I feel like that's been his late game strat. He's been dungeon to dungeon, and he's probably gonna go straight to ET after this. But
I could see him trying to push off ET just because of ET 101.
true, yeah.
Like, we're not in the ET 102 situation
That's
of
fair.
the item I want for ET could be in there. We're in the situation of, okay, I
Probably.
have a lot of overworld left, and I have ET.
The difficult thing for Kit, though, is that now, when do you ever get that high roll ball? The obvious answer is if it's hinted, but it really depends on where this next bow is. Because if the next bow takes a while to get, he may just not get that high roll bow anytime soon. And especially if light arrows is fire and ice locked, it's over. I think that in that situation, then it's just done. I don't know how Kit could come back from that, because he would just, again, I don't know when he'd go to high roll after this.
And there are going to be just other, like, really minor things that are now tilting in Jim's favor. For example, he's going to have fire and ice for Godon. So that's a faster Godon. He's going to have fire and ice for Kalademos, but I don't think he's going to do the fire arrow strategy. Like, it just tilts.
It adds up a little bit. It's crazy. Like that high roll play, I mean, it makes sense that Jim does it.
It was just insane to think that it was the play.
It was the place. It wasn't the delivery bag.
And it looked like he was trying to veer around it. So, like, that's already crazy enough.
So yeah, Jim is gonna, I don't know if he's just gonna open it, yeah.
Okay, does he just go mode out in this though?
Ooh, good point.
Oh, he's
is.
thinking about okay.
Oh,
he's so torn. You can
he's-
feel
yeah.
like the emotional, like, do I? Oh,
You can
no.
see on his face just like not really sure. In this situation, I mean, it's a really difficult choice to make, because I mean, if Fire and Ice is here, then you do just waste a lot of time not getting it, but you are also in pretty much go mode. If I were Jim, I would just leave after this. I would get these checks and then I'd return to just beat the dungeon, go get my Fire and Ice in.
Save warp, beat Kalademos, fire ice hint. I think
Yeah.
that's a safer approach as opposed to fire ice go mode.
Yeah.
Once again, from Kit's side, where this bow is going to matter a lot. Because if it's in top G, then Kit is on almost the inverse side, where he just has to go to Master Sword Chamber, just has to do Earth Temple.
At that point, I couldn't even tell you who's in the lead.
I would still lean towards Jim
Yeah.
because Earth Temple Go mode is still a really long
Pretty
thing,
lengthy, yeah.
as opposed to first floor skip, and I think Jim has 2 statues left. No, he never got Deluxe Picto, so he's still. Oh, now I'm on. Okay, no, I'm with you. I don't know who would be ahead in that.
Yeah, it depends on, well, honestly, it just depends on what both runners do. I think if Jim is beelining it, so, and I mean, we'll know where our light arrows are once Jim does creep, so if he gets like a windfall hint, then he'll go to Taji, get his deluxe, and then probably come back. But do we necessarily know that Deluxe Picto is something anymore? Because now that we know that a grapple hook check was, one Picto, was that Picto grapple locked? I have no idea.
You're making me think. That Picto was not grapple locked.
So it could be either.
We had fire and ice that was grapple locked.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm going to stop thinking.
I have no idea.
Hints are a lie. Never listen to them.
Yeah, I think
Trust your heart.
That hint chain, I think, ultimately is just not going to matter, honestly.
Yeah, I'm going to have to like write it out if I wanted to figure it out, and that's just effort.
All right, so let's see. Will Jim do Makar slide? He may be a little nervous, so if he doesn't, it makes sense. But
it would be fun. Okay.
Yeah, this is. I remember yesterday he said he did it, but I think yesterday he was a lot more confident in his race. Like, this is one of those things where, again, when you're playing the game, depending on where stuff lines up, you can kind of know if you're ahead or behind or not, or like if you're in an advantage position. I think right now Jim does not feel that. He probably has no idea where Kitcot is if I were him. So,
and really good move to save here. And it might not seem like that, but the good move is that if he goes to Creeb has nothing, or it hints Forbidden Woods, he can just soft reset straight back into the dungeon.
Yes, yeah. All right, Jim, going to Windfall, this makes sense. He's going to get to see Creeb.
Ice Ring was hinted dead as well. So really our only Fire, Ice,
Needle Rock,
ET left side.
Oh no!
ET left side,
awful.
Raise.
Oh boy! If that's the hint, if Jim gets the Headstone Isle has it.
Then I am eating good tonight. Because I am a left side enjoyer, left side enthusiast.
Yeah, that would. I also think that would mean Jim just straight up wins. I don't think
100%.
Kit could never come. Kit having to do left side and high roll is just a combination of things that will probably never happen. Like, that would.
Now we also have another potential funny of
my
Orca Mail having it.
What mail is?
That was Kamali's father, so that was.
This is Orca.
Yep.
Wish to be a true swordsman. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm eating good tonight. I feel good.
Alrighty.
I feel bad, but
that's a wrap.
Yeah.
I don't think
Jim just has Godon.
He just has to do Godon
and
now.
He's ahead.
And he is ahead. And the head spat out a Joy Pendant, which is going to be no help to Kit.
Yep,
so
Joy.
If you're Kitcot in this position, you go to Earth Temple, I think. But that's just not going to...
Jim into Dungeon War Pot. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually not sure if it's fast. No, Headstone would be two sort of stage changes, so I can agree with this.
So... Yeah, no, this is just, I think it's crazy that high roll, that was what decided it. That one high roll play. Kit not doing high roll earlier and Kit choosing to do it.
Not even just high roll, like Kit could have, because it was Orca Mail, after Forbidden Woods, Kit just needed to check Mail, or in fact, checking Mail and Master Sword Chamber would have been insanely good, because then you just step out with light arrows.
I mean, Kit is doing high roll, so he's getting part 1. Is it enough, though? I don't think so. Because Jim just has to go mode this, and I think he has 2 more statues to do.
I don't think he has any of the statues.
Does not have any? Okay.
So that's all the statues on Jim's side. Godon. Kit's going to have light arrows for Jahala, so that's a little bit of a time save compared to Jim's.
He will probably get Komali Mail. I'd assume he stops at Outset to get Komali Mail.
Orca Mail.
Orca Mail, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, actually, no. After this, he's probably going to go to Windfall for Creeb and then get his Orca Mail there.
The same thing that Jim basically just did, where he's like, I'm going to go get my hint, but I'm going to check the checks first. And then it's like, oh, I'm not going to get Creeb.
Okay, so maybe this one is not all decided.
It's close. There's execution mistakes that could really, really impact the final result.
Kit hasn't done anything in Earth Temple yet. He hasn't even been there, so he has no progress there. But
it's a full go mode.
It's a full go mode with light arrows. If he enters Jahala by the time Jim is entering. Also, wait, I think Kit is going to probably get Dark Portal too, if I had to guess from this position. Or not. Never mind. I lied. You know what? Honestly, I appreciate Kit not getting it because it makes it easier for us because we'll actually know who's ahead entering Hyrule now.
That's so true.
So, thank you, Kit.
I like my job being easy. I'm leaning towards Jim being slightly ahead right
He's
now.
slightly ahead. That's what I would guess too. Because I think it's going to be like 3 or 4 minutes till he gets to the top, and then Godan's like 3 or 4 minutes on his own, I think. So Kit's going to go here. He's going to play Song of Passing. He's going to get the mail. He's going to go to Outset, go to Headstone. And then it's just how fast can he ET go mode. I feel like they'll probably be in the bosses at the same time, but I think Jim will be farther along.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Kit is gonna buy arrows. That is actually a little bit
Questionable.
no, it's not questionable. I think it's just unfortunate. I mean, it makes sense to want to get some extras, but it's just not right now, Kit.
Oh,
Kit, get the mail.
Get the mail, Kit. Get the mail. Oh,
No. That might be it. Creep takes a while.
45, 50 seconds?
Yeah. And he missed the windmill cycle.
Yeah, I mean, this is just time that Kit doesn't have.
Yeah, he can't waste any more than this. I think now it's gonna. I think Jim would have to make a mistake now if Jim.
Jim was not having a good time with the eye, so he is making mistakes.
But he need a major mistake. He need a void out. He need to like drop the statue into the void.
Give Ganondorf a nice hug.
Yeah.
Show him that you care.
PG decides to give him a couple spins, do a little twirl. Oh, I think Jim would have to fail boomer setup a couple times, which it's boomer setup, so it might. But
He has a few decades of practice on that.
that's true.
That's a weird sentence to say.
Well done.
Okay.
All right, Kit. He's gonna get his light arrows, but I think it's too little, too late.
I'm going to really focus on Kit's expression when he sees those light arrows because he
Yeah.
walks straight past
Everyone
this.
stare at Kit's face. Actually, stoic.
Yeah, very stoic.
All right, so Kit is off to ET, but at the same time, Jim is off to the top of Taji. So
Yep.
I think I can fairly confidently say I think Jim has a lead here.
I can fairly confidently think that probably.
Words are hard, okay.
I'm almost positive, but I'm not going to say it authoritatively.
Yeah,
I'll say it authoritatively. Jim is ahead.
Jim is ahead.
Godon is ahead.
Yeah, there's nothing even here.
And there's not, like, there are a few things that Godon can do that will impact Jim. Like, if hands respawn, if he just doesn't cooperate. But there's not a ton of huge time aspects that can be
Yeah,
applied here.
unless he like dies, but I'd be really surprised if Jim died to Godan.
Yeah.
Kit is in Earth Temple.
Especially since we have soup.
Oh yeah.
If Jim dies to Godon with soup, then I'll give you $50. I don't know. Like, that's just free money.
So yeah, Jim entering Godan. So he is officially ahead. Well, Godan's ahead, but he is too.
Okay, Kit just needs to abandon Medley here.
Will he remember to abandon Medley? Yes, he will.
He does. Okay, that's good. Good for Kit.
This Godan fight is not the easiest.
That was a good placement for Godon, though, since he basically just pivoted straight into where the reset was.
Hey, Godan is a pro at juking everyone, so Just, I don't know how he does it. Does anyone even understand how Godan's movement works? 'Cause
No. But a hand respawn.
I don't know when Godan will be decomped, but I'm sure whatever spaghetti code he runs on will show us some fun secrets about him.
Spaghetti. Is that a small key?
Yes.
Okay, that's convenient. Is how I'll phrase it. It's not necessarily required for Go mode in ET, but it does let you skip the left side of that lower section.
Yeah.
Which is just nice. Godon is trying really hard to make sure that Jim is behind, because he's ahead. I'm trying to make that work, but that's hard.
Speaking of,
we have another head.
Yeah, we have another head.
Lots of heads.
Except we're climbing this one, and we're gonna. It's like a read out of this one, right?
I don't know.
I always thought this was just like the sun or something, but
it turns into the sun if you shine both halves.
So Jim is ahead, and finishing up his taunt G. So Jim will be entering Hyrule momentarily, fully in go mode, fully ready to win his first SGL, I think.
Has Jim won SGL?
I don't think he has.
We've had Advo win. We've had
Advo won twice, then Kit
Advo
won
win?
last year.
Yeah.
Then, has Jim ever won a Wind Waker tournament? I think he's gone second many times.
I'm going to say no, just because I want to be snarky to Jim, but I think he has.
So yeah, either way, this is going to be a very good win for Jim. 1 seed going into the tournament and sweeping through everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, I do want to know. Explain.
So, Spoils back is grapple, and that locks the shard turning in.
Where was Spoils bag?
Or, no, Skull Necklace.
Skull necklaces are deemed.
Oh, right.
Wait, no.
No,
is
they
that
are.
tracker logic? Though?
Yes.
Because we start with 20.
No, it's like the logic requires you.
The actual Spoils back is grapple.
Yeah.
I don't know what the third, why the third bow was, but it's got to be that all three bows were
Okay.
locked behind grapple.
For those that cannot hear the tracker, because we have chat. Oh, chat figured it out already. For the VOD that doesn't have chat or the tracker, the rough path is that Spoils bag was grapple hook locked, and that locked all the other bows. So, grapple hook, path the bows, path to basically the entire seed. Jim in Hyrule.
Jim is now rolling. Has anyone ever counted how many rolls are in Hyrule?
Yes.
How many?
You didn't ask how many. You just said, has anyone counted? And I know the answer to that's yes.
But
How many? No idea.
all right. Well,
This has been a lesson in questions.
so yeah, Jim using the leaf for hopefully the last time, and so unless something goes wrong. So, I think you don't use you don't use the leaf after this.
You can if you mess up grapple skip in such a way that leafing, like you react fast enough to leaf, or if you mess up a rope climb and you just jump off but you haven't jump slashed yet.
Yeah.
Because typically you jump off and then you jump slash and then you cry.
Jim gonna sidle along this wall to phase through the loading zone, because I don't know why.
Because doors are very good.
Doors are very good in this game. And this is not a door, that's actually just a wall. Fun fact, I think you can leaf and ledge grab the top of that wall.
Yes, you have to parry Phantom Ganon in such a way to grab, jump on top of a different thing, but then yes.
Yeah. I think any percent does it now, because I don't think any percent gets light arrows because it. Well,
There are several ways to skip light arrows. I'm not sure which one any percent does.
yeah,
Any percent no ace.
no ace. Any percent with ace takes a picture and then does funky things.
Picture is worth 1,000 words.
It's also worth a 16-minute any percent speed.
True.
Though I don't think anyone's done it without inputs, like cheater inputs, but
Oh, input display.
yeah.
But Jim, having completed the grand staircase as Kit enters Hyrule, it could. I think we're going to have a little bit of a closer race than the last time. It was like their last round. Because last round, Jim was stabbing Ganondorf through his head as Kit was at Phantom Ganon.
Jim's having a good start to this PG. Got 2 quick shots. Now, yeah, this is kind of an awkward spot. He's a little too close.
Okay.
Very
Jim
nice.
PG1. Kit at barrier. For phase 2, we are going to have Puppet Ganon spin around.
Got it.
It's going to be in a spider form. Here, there's a strategy called Trip Shot, and so how that works is he lands, and then you shoot the ball and him, and you can kind of just repeat that to get 3 quick shots, because each of these phases for Puppet Ganon, you need 3 shots to advance to the next one.
Yeah, so we were just informed that, so the actual hint logic was actually simpler than we thought. It was grappling hook leads to Small Island, because logically you need grappling hook to get on top of Small Island.
That's right.
If that had Skull Hammer, which puts you into Wind Temple, or Wind Temple entrance. That's it. That's 100%. That's the logic right there.
I prefer having 13 different spheres
All right.
worth of hints.
Yeah.
Jim on PG3 as we enter into trials.
Shoutouts to Kokorona42. They were the one who figured out the hint logic. So you did better than all of us could hear. All of us
focused
combined.
on yapping.
Well, we have an entire crowd and trackers next to us, so
Yeah,
and an entire chat of veteran runners.
Well,
so.
we can't
Well
see
done.
chat. Sorry, chat.
Well done to you.
Well done to Jim as he finishes PG3 as
Yep.
well.
Yeah, Kit vaporizing the fake PG, but
Yeah, we have like Puppet Ganon, Phantom Ganon both dying at the same time. Quite scenic. Quite iconic.
now Jim is going to rope climb. Or not,
No.
I lied.
I don't think he's rope climbed any time on Restream.
No, he's not rope climbing, he's climb rope.
Yes.
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 Yes, indeed. Meanwhile, Kit is roll upstairs, which is, I don't know. If I ever, we should try rolling upstairs. I don't think it would work.
We, in real life?
Yeah.
You can go first.
Fine. You're really gonna harm the child there.
Uh,
You really told the child to go roll up the stairs first.
You think I have the body to roll upstairs? I roll downstairs.
I don't think anyone has the body to roll. I mean, unless you're like a contortionist. I don't know. I don't understand how you do that. You'd have to do like flips or something.
You have to open this door as you enter into Puppet Ganon for Kit.
You have to equip the leaf because Jim just failed
See?
the grapple skip.
There
There is the leaf. Yeah, Jim using the grapple.
I called it.
Grapple skip is one of those funny tricks where you can do a setup there to clip through that wood, but it's really finicky for no reason. Like it can just fail randomly, and this is so close to the end that it can just feel really bad, and it can sometimes come up to just like you had a shaky hand input, and so Jim just choosing to.
And
use grapple.
honestly, Jim getting the best failure case there, almost slipping off. That's not the best failure case. Because with grapple skip, you can also just void.
Yeah.
And that's the worst failure case. 'Cause you gotta climb the entire rope again.
Usually the void happens. You need to do a shield backflip because when you backflip with the shield, it shortens your backflip. But if you don't have it out, that's usually when you get the void. But
Good crib shots by Kit. We are moving on to Ganondorf Phase 2, Slap.
Yeah, I think Kit will probably be finishing Worm Ganon by the time Jim finishes Ganon.
Yeah.
Jim with clean Phase 2.
Very close race.
Very close. This really coming down to like 2 or 3 minutes in the end. Zelda, come on. All right. And with that, GG's to Gymnast86 for winning Speedgaming Live 2025 for Wind Waker Randomizer.
Yeah, don't get too far ahead in the
Skyward
years.
Sword.
Maybe 2026. We'll see. But
I think Kid is gonna get eaten alive by Worm
Yeah.
Ganon for this. Hey!
as Kit enjoys PG3, fun facts about PG3. He can clip out of the arena and then just be gone forever.
Yeah.
That's all the fun facts I had.
See how long Kit lasts.
All right, runners.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for the content. That was a terrible seed.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Terrible Seed sums it up. The hints were just straight up a massive headache, I felt.
Yeah.
I love Shield Path to Go Day.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think also the Windfall to Helmrockhind, I felt like that could just been anything, because maybe like half an hour into the seed, the only things that I had left to do were from Windfall. So, like, in my mind, I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna like ignore all of that and just assume that that path somehow gets resolved.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a seed.
We did figure out the hints. It was
We being chat, by the way.
yeah, chat figured it out. It was grappling hook for it was the shields. It got grappling hook to get small island chest, which had skull hammer to get you into
Right.
into Wind Temple entrance. That was the
Right.
because for a while we thought it was all bow to get the bows, but it actually
Yeah,
ended
that's
up,
what I was thinking.
yeah, it ended up actually just being useless. We thought the deluxe picto box was gonna like break the seed for a little while, but no.
I feel like I just died.
Aw.
Hi, Kit. Hi, Kit.
Yeah, man. The routing at the beginning, or really the whole seed, the routing was extremely awkward.
Yeah.
But the last like 30 minutes of the extremely awkward routing worked out very well for me.
You going into Master Sword Chamber before Forbidden Woods was actually incredibly critical.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And it looked like you were trying to get around it and then just ended up barely touching the portal. Like
No,
when you-
I intended to go in.
Okay, it looked
Yeah.
it looked a little like a veer, so I
Yeah.
wasn't sure.
That was probably the moment that you won the race. That
Okay.
single moment, because Kit ended up you went back for it pretty quickly after beating Top G, but
Yeah.
that one moment you had you just went back to Windfall, you got your light arrows, and you were in go because Kit had to beat Earth Temple, he hadn't done that yet, where you had to beat Taji, and then you just ended up being ahead in the end. So that's really what it came down to in the end. You guys getting Skullhammer, you guys were maybe 15 seconds apart. You guys had
Wow.
like the same
Oh,
checks,
okay.
the same items. You were basically doing the same thing, and then
It was really close for
was
41
really close.
minutes.
Yeah.
Really the entire time it was really close, but that moment right there accented how close it was.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it was quite an interesting finals to watch then. So
It was.
Yeah, Jim, did you like go mode to any of Tachi or Forbidden Woods?
Yeah, so like my, aside from Forsaken Fortress, my dungeon route was I entered Headstone first, hoping that it would be Forbidden Woods, but no, because anytime I hope to enter a dungeon that's not Earth Temple, it's always Earth Temple. And then I cleared Earth Temple except for left side, and of course we only found magic, which Sphere 0 magic, by the way.
Yeah.
We started with power bracelets. And yeah, so I cleared that and I was like, well, I didn't find anything. That sucks. And then I went to the Gale Isle entrance. I was like, surely this is Forbidden Woods. It was not Forbidden Woods. It was Tower of the Gods.
Basically, every time you two entered a dungeon, we're like, what is the worst dungeon this could be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably this one, and then it was that one. So
We
like,
were right
you
every
were
time.
Earth Temple, you entered Gale before Jim did. We're like,
Yeah.
Forbidden Woods would be too good to have here. It's gonna be Tachi.
Yeah.
And then it's Tachi.
And then it's top G.
I also did. I don't know if I don't know when you got the bow, but I did end up kind of double dipping Tower of the Gods first without the bow and then doing the rest.
I went in, got Ferore's Pearl, decided what to do for a bit, and then decided to leave and go to Tower of the Gods entrance. But before doing that, I was like, maybe grapple really leads to Cabana. It did not lead to Cabana. So I full cleared Cabana for nothing. Then I went to Hyrule before going into the Tower of the Gods entrance, found my first bow, and was like, okay, now we can begin clearing things properly.
Yeah.
And then I went through Forbidden Woods, got fire and ice arrows, was like, well, now I'm just missing light arrows. I should go check Creeb, but if it's in these last 2 checks in Forbidden Woods, these are going to be a pain to get back to. So I did those just in case they were nothing.
We could see the emotional, like, churn.
Yeah.
As you just, like, you rotated back towards the door, and you're like, oh, no. Okay,
It's like,
jump slash.
no, I have to do
Leaf
this.
over.
Yeah. And then I just went to Windfall to check Creeb, but I was like, oh, the mailbox is jumping. I should check the mailbox.
We cried a bit for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a
Yeah.
while to get that, and it was like, okay, well, when I got to, I think, when I was doing Creep, I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna, just assume that every check around me is dead, just get the information from Creep, and then just go, because I didn't want to, because Creep was gonna basically tell me where my lights were.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, okay, well, if I do mail, I'm kind of taking a chance that it's mail. It was mail, in the end, so, oops, I guess. But
Yeah. Fun seed. I love I guess logical first bow had to be Hyrule.
huh.
Yes.
I guess you could technically beat Forbidden Woods.
No.
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah, so first logical bow was Hyrule. Double dip Tower of the Gods was mandatory.
It was, double dip was mandatory. I think at best, both bows were the same sphere.
Yeah.
It's a lovely grand final seed.
We love it. That looks like we have your trophies. I don't know if you're like, do we do that on stream? Okay, come on. We have first and second place trophies. I need the headset. I will give my headset away because I'm the yapper.
Crane has lost headset privileges.
Well, good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning, depending on where you are. I'm Adirondack Rick, wishing congratulations to both of our runners here for making it to the Grand Championship. Let's have applause. So you can't see me because I'm off to the side, but I'm going to present the second place finish to Kitcot. And to Gymnast. Here you go. First place of the tournament. Congratulations. A big thank you on the behalf of the Speedgaming family to the people who helped organize and run this tournament for us. It's been a great success. The Wind Waker community has always been a welcome part of our Speedgaming Live family, so we do thank you for coming out here to Herndon, Virginia, and we hope to have you back here once again. And a big thank you to everyone who's been watching these Wind Wakers races here on Speedgaming. So let's give each other a round of applause. And with that, I'll give the headset back to Crane so we can finish this broadcast off. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, here is your golden statue as we continue our theme of giving a golden statue, tingle statue, to our first place that we get as we do escape rooms here. I have nothing to add to what Rick said, so I think we'll just sign off here.
Yeah.
Till next year.
Congratulations to our tournament for being done early in the day.
Yeah.
Congrats to Jim, congrats to Kit, also congrats to Rick, third place. And yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, now wave. Smile and wave, everyone. Goodbye.